Hey everyone, I am so glad to be here. We are on the fourth episode of the Maids Who Made It podcast. My name is Cheryl Hager. I am your host. Today we are here with one of my favorite people in the world, Gloria Paul from Statesville, North Carolina. Gloria is the founder of A Greener Clean, and what a ride it has been for her. I am so glad to have her this evening with us tonight. She's going to share her story of how she almost quit her cleaning business, which is, once you hear her story, you're not even going to believe it. And the mind shifts that she had to make to forge her now $400,000 a year cleaning business. So welcome to the show, Gloria.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'm so excited to be here.
And I just need to comment on that microphone. If you guys watch it, the microphone is going to change colors. Yes, you changed it. I love that microphone. I didn't expect that microphone. I love it. So why don't you, so I've known you for, it's got to be 2.5 years now. Take us back a few years, before you and I started working together. What did your life and your business look like when we first started?
Okay. When I started following you and decided to call you I had a few months prior, I had been working a desk job again. That's like what I used to do in my prior life.
Right.
And yeah, I decided to, quit that job and really focus on building the business. But it was, kind of limping along and things just were not going that great. So, stress.
Why weren't they going that great?
Was not making profit. Some months I would break even. Some I, was not able to pay myself. I had employees. I didn't have a really strong team. I was still having to go out and spend a lot of time in the field cleaning. So not really working on the business like I wanted to.
Right.
Just juggling all the things, mom.
And you
life.
have a husband and kids and everything. So I feel like you were really busy.
Yes. Busy and stressed and thinking, what am I doing? I am not making any money. But it's got to be worth it, right?
So what made you want to start a cleaning business?
Oh, my kids, for sure. That time freedom that we all dream about.
Right.
I think most of us are kind of attracted to that idea of like, I want to be my own boss, set my own schedule.
Yeah.
I was working, like I said, I worked an office job, had my son, and was working. I did cut back. I wasn't working full time, but it was just a struggle, like balancing all the things, like being a mom, going to work and like managing everything. And so, yeah, that was I just wanted more time.
You were essentially doing 3 jobs. You were managing a household, being a mom, running business, and actually having a side job at the same time. So that's what I call hustle.
Oh yeah. Every opportunity, right? Like I'm like, okay, when can I squeeze in? Like, okay, I can take on this account. When can I do it? Oh, are you okay? Can I clean on a Saturday? I remember one of my first residential cleaning clients was in my neighborhood, so it's just down the street.
Yeah.
And I would try to knock it out first thing in the morning before I went to work.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. Now that I think about it, I'm like, but at the time I was like, I'll do whatever it takes.
No, I know. We're all like that. Most of us start like that. Most of us start having that, like, I'm going to do it all, clean everything. I can handle everything until you can't handle everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know we talked before and I've heard you say it. Of course, it's been a couple of years since you said it. What made you might want to say, I want to quit this and just go work that office job?
I felt like I learned this new phrase lately. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze. It was. It was. So I thought, okay, my stress rate, my ratio of like stress and what I'm getting out of it, right? The value of it. I was like, dang, this isn't worth it because I'm stressed out, tired, and like I'm not making any money. So like like
and
what am I doing?
a lot of cleaning business owners feel like that because they don't know what their profits are. They're just
Back then before I started your course, I wasn't tracking, like I was using software and stuff like that, but I wasn't utilizing it. So it's like, what's the point in having QuickBooks if you're not running a profit and loss statement and you're not running these reports and
Yeah.
actually really looking at them and everything. So
Well, and women, and I've talked to hundreds of cleaning business owners, and I work with primarily women. Women are deathly afraid of looking at the numbers. Like
I was.
alone.
Yep, I was.
Now you're a numbers Nazi.
I like it now, kind of. Yeah.
Like it. Yeah. A lot of women, like there could be like women tonight, like listing in the same place. So like they're cleaning all day, they're doing all the admin, they're doing the schedule, the payroll, and they're feeling stuck like with no family time. So what would you tell that version? Because that was you, right? Just like everyone else. What would you tell that version of yourself now?
Don't give up. Perseverance pays off.
Don't give up. Yeah, it's true.
Don't give
So many
up.
people want to quit because it gets too hard. You're doing everything. Right?
But you know what? Everything that's really all if you think about it, everything good in life. So I'm talking to a lot of our cleaning business owners or moms, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. How rewarding it is to have a child and to see that kid grow up, right? That's so rewarding, but it's like the hardest job ever. So just remind yourself,
running a business is harder than raising kids. I don't know.
It's so, yeah, I kind of see my cleaning business as another child. It's like, it's my baby.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Do you have a name for your baby?
No, I never thought of it. Yeah.
So I know you used to clean in the beginning of your business. How long did you clean in the beginning?
Oh, years, a long time. Cause I always had employees, but like it didn't take me long, a couple months of like, okay, I'm gonna hire somebody, right?
Yeah.
So, but I worked with them. It was like we were working side by side, always working with them. So yeah,
Right.
years.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Do you feel like you had to, how do I say this without sounding weird? Did you feel like you had to watch over them all the time? Like you were afraid they were going to make a mistake?
No, I just felt like I couldn't make enough money taking myself out of the field. So it did become like I would eventually, I would give them their own set of houses to clean and then I would go clean and kind of like build up. And I always thought in my head, okay, I have to be the one cleaning all the new accounts and then I'll hire someone later to replace me. That was always the mentality.
Right. No, totally. So when did you find it hard to train people in the beginning? Like, what did your training look like in the beginning?
It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a system. I didn't have a set way of doing things. I didn't have like the checklist, and eventually I made a checklist, but I mean, it was just, yeah, it was kind of all over the place.
So many of us don't have anything. I didn't have anything. When I started, I hired people that would work for cash daily and I would pay them like that. And I'd be like, okay, here's how you clean a kitchen. You want to leave no streaks or, like on the mirrors. I winged everything.
Yeah, I think my first couple employees, I don't think I trained them at all.
So you
I just said, do you know how to clean? I was like, do you know how to clean? Okay, you're hired.
So that was what I call a warm body. You just hired a warm body. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, so many warm bodies over the years.
So how is that different from who you hire now? What's that like?
Oh, it's like night and day, much different screening process. I really like hiring people that have worked at other cleaning companies who have done this work specifically. And it's not a deal breaker, but I do want someone who's worked on their feet. So
tell me why.
It's different, like having a sit down job versus being on your feet all day, the physical demands of it. People don't quite understand how hard it is to clean houses all day long.
Have you ever hired someone that says, oh, I clean, I love cleaning houses, I clean, and then they just start working and they're like, I can't handle this?
Yes, more than once, a few times.
Yeah.
Or this was a lot grosser than I thought it would be. I can't deal with looking at the hair in the drain or something. I remember the one girl, she's like, the hair in the drain is keeping me out.
I mean, that's a little skeevy.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
I would say. No, we had this one woman we hired, and she said, "Oh, I love cleaning. I'm, OCD, the self-proclaimed OCD, and we have backpack vacuums." And she refused to put it on her back. She carried it around on one shoulder and tried to vacuum the house like that. And after 3 days, she's like, "I can't do this. This is too hard." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, okay." So I know we talked about before that, you at one point were like, I think I'm going to quit, but then you decided not to. What would you say your why was for sticking with the business? Because usually the why is what gets people through.
Just had to remind myself why I started in the first place,
Yeah,
and I was doing it for my kids, so
you
when you're
were.
doing it for somebody you love, it motivates you way more than if you're just, like, doing a job for money. Money doesn't really motivate me. It's what the money can do for me, what it can do for my family, like, we can have more family time, I can be home for my kids when they get out of school, and at the time, they weren't in school, they were toddlers, baby. My son was a baby, and then I was working pregnant with my daughter, working a job, cleaning on the weekends and nights, and then, then
So
when I
wait a minute.
had her.
So you were pregnant and you were, what did a typical week look like?
Oh, well, okay, so I would go to work from about 8 to 4,
Okay.
and my son would go stay with his grandparents a couple days a week, and the other days with a babysitter, and, so I was, yeah, having to go to doctor appointments and various things, so I was pregnant, and then I had a few cleaning jobs. We had an office, a, medical office we did on the weekends, and let's see what else. I can't remember if I had houses at that time. I may have had 1 or 2, I don't know, but I did take kind of, a step back because I was working my office job, and, yeah, it was crazy thinking back
You
on all.
working 7 days a week
Some days, some weeks. Yeah.
and you were pregnant.
Yeah, and then I remember the one office. Okay, so when I was almost ready to give birth, I think I was like 36 5 or 36 weeks pregnant,
Yeah.
and I remember going into this one office, I had to carry the supplies in the elevator and then
Yeah.
go up there, and, the owner, she said I can't remember, she's like, "Why are you here? Like, aren't you, like, about to give birth or something?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm here to work, So I was literally like up until like, the baby was born. And then even then after she was born, I went ahead and quit that job
Yeah.
and said to my husband, I'm like, with daycare expenses and everything else, I was like, I can make a go at this, cleaning business. I know I can. Like we sat down, we did the numbers. I'm like, I know I can do this. And so I would strap my baby because I was breastfeeding her, and then I had my son who's like not, yeah, he wasn't even 3 years old at the time. And so yeah, he's, like, not even fully out of diapers, potty trained completely.
So
And so
you brought your daughter with you.
I would bring her with me, I would put her on when and my husband, he was so good, like, in the beginning, he would help me clean that medical office. So many weekends he went, we do it together as a family.
That's awesome.
If I didn't have
So
someone to watch
you
my
had to
son, the 4 of
breastfeed
us
on the
would go.
you had to breastfeed on the side. You could take a break and he could pick up the mop.
Yep.
That's a great story. I never knew that about you.
And my daughter, she got so used to the sound of the vacuum that I remember one time visiting with my dad at his house, and I said, "Oh, she's really cranky. She needs a nap. Can I vacuum your house?" And he's like, "Vacuum's in the closet. That's weird." I'm like, "No, trust me, it'll put her to sleep." So I put her in the carrier and just did. Yep, she fell right asleep.
Oh, that's hilarious. What about now? How old is she now?
She's
12?
12 now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So I know you've said before that you just do things scared. What does that exactly mean? Like, what was scary to you?
Everything.
Everything. Give me
Everything.
a couple. Give me your top 2 scariest things.
Oh my gosh. Firing an employee.
Mm,
And let's see, enforcing a policy with a client, like any
okay.
type of interaction, right? Like whether it was trying to get my money or, cancellation policy, anything like that, anything. I was such a people pleaser. I didn't want my employees to be mad at me. I didn't want the customers to be mad at me. Like it was like this weird, like, okay, I just want to make everyone happy all the time. It was not healthy at all.
Where did that come from?
I mean, from my childhood, but
Yeah.
I was the good child.
So, okay, let's talk about clients for a second. Let's talk about pleasing clients, because you can't please every client. What was the turning point? Like, what made you decide, you know what, I need to have some boundaries here, and it's not okay for them to treat you a certain way?
Okay, I'm not going to name names.
No names.
I'm not going to name names. But Mrs. So-and-so, all right. So even my husband, I would show him the text messages and emails I would get. And he's just like, what is wrong with this person? And why are you putting up with it? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. I think I cleaned for her for almost 2 years.
Just demanding? Like, was she demanding, or what was the situation?
Yeah. I mean, I would sweep her patios, decks, even in, the hot of summer. One time I was out sweeping her one deck, and a wasp came and, got me in the forehead. And one time there was some kind of glass broke on one patio. She's like, can you vacuum my deck? Because we broke something out. There's broken glass. Can you vacuum my deck? I did that for her. And there's like other different things, very demandingly, and then it was like, but if there was one, if I didn't pick up a vase and get the dust, as she found a dust ring, I had to pick up everything, which, you know what? Okay. I'm not going to bash her too hard, because she actually made me a really good cleaner.
So when did you, like, what was like the point where you said, you know what, I'm going to fire this client?
Ooh, yeah.
How did you do it? What did you say?
I think I raised her price.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. You know what? It's funny. I don't really remember. I just remember like being like, I'm so done. I can't do this anymore. So I may have actually just told her I can't clean for you anymore. I don't remember what I said, but
do you know what she said?
No, she wasn't upset or anything. She was okay, but
yeah,
I do remember like, all right, yeah. Like I finally stuck up for, I'm like, dang, it took me long enough, but
I did that too. We all do that in the beginning. We don't know. We just, there's still a connotation in the world, in the universe, with house cleaning. I think it's personally gotten better, but like 100 years ago, it was like the servants did the house cleaning, right? So every once in a while, and I get them too, you get someone that still has a little bit of that attitude, and you, by doing all these estimates and meeting all these people and knowing how to read people, you can weed them out pretty quickly now. In the beginning, I think, and you don't have to take them on.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Sometimes I refuse to place the bid at all. Like I don't even send a quote. There's sometimes I won't, because there'll be sometimes where I'll go, oh, she seems a little high maintenance, so I'll just up the price to accommodate for the extra time it's going to take. But if it's really like obvious, like I do not want to do business with this person, I'll just flat out be like, I decided I can't quote you. I don't think we're a good fit.
What do they say?
I don't know. Most of them, it's like whatever, they don't care, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a few times I'm like,
I think once the community knows your reputation, they see your branding as professional, they see you all over the place, I think that you attract better clients, is what I think. That's what I've noticed. In the beginning, years ago, I was solo cleaning, I didn't have a brand. I was just like, whatever. I would attract tire kickers, lowballers, people that would want to like just negotiate with me, drive the price down, demand everything. That doesn't really happen anymore. I don't think it happens in your business either.
Not lately, no.
It doesn't. No, it changes. When you decide to set boundaries, that's when it changes, honestly.
Yeah, and it starts with the first communication that, you have with somebody right up front.
Totally.
So
It totally does. So as you started to grow your revenue and your teams, like, were there any scary moments where you were like, holy shit, I'm actually running a legitimate cleaning business with payroll, taxes, and actual responsibility? Where was that moment?
It's never the whole taxes, payroll, paperwork stuff. I come from an admin background. Like my degree, I went to community college here in Statesville, got a degree in business administration, and had some office type jobs. And that's just that, like, to me is
That was
not scary at all. It's what was really, I guess, like during 2020 when I instantly lost like 40% of my business, and I was pregnant at the time. That was my second surrogacy.
Yeah,
And
surrogacy
I,
we talked about yet, which we will.
yeah, so I was like, oh crap. I, we shut down for 2 weeks, and then I had one employee not be able to get unemployment. I don't know why, maybe because she wasn't working for me very long. And she's like, I really want to work, please. So that was my oh shit moment, because I'm like, all right, I've gotta get her jobs. I have to keep her busy. And then
Was
some of
this
the other girls.
was it during COVID? That was
Yeah.
2020, right? COVID,
Yeah.
yeah. COVID was a nightmare for cleaning businesses.
Yep. So that was that light pressure of, I need to get business so that my employees can get paychecks and buy their kids groceries. So I was like, oh man.
Right. Right. Yeah, no. It was scary. Our business dived about 65% that first month. And I remember sitting on the couch being like, how am I going to pay the car payment and the mortgage and the this and that? And then everything started, people started coming back once the rationale started coming back, and people were like, well, wait a minute, you're coming to clean and disinfect my house, so it makes sense. She goes, so they're like, it's okay if you come, can you wear a mask? I'm like, sure. 2 masks, sure. Booties, 3 masks, sure. And people were a little nutty. So when we're talking about numbers, right? When we look back, if you look back at your numbers, I know, like, we've been working together for a few years now, and I think, if I remember correctly, you were probably at around what, 10,000 a month when we started working together, and you just showed me a number yesterday that was not $10,000 a month. It was what, 36,000, right?
36 in booked, solid
Yeah.
booking. So for the next 30 days, yay.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because you get like you level up, and then you get a new normal and a new normal and a new normal. So I remember back when I was striving for 17K, this was before I lost all my clients. So yeah, so I guess I kind of over the years kind of did this a little bit. So we were actually doing more than 10K back in 2020, and I was, my goal was 17, and I remember, but we kind of, like I said, we had lost a bunch of clients back then. So it took me a while to build it back up, right? But it was like, it's funny because you have this dollar value that seems so big, and then after you hit it and you get used to that, and then you're like, okay, let's shoot for more. And then it feels it's like normal.
Addicting a little bit, right? You just kind of want to like push the needle up a couple more thousand a month, a couple more thousand a month. Would you say, like, did your mindset change a little bit from like that, 15,000 mark to where it is now? Like, what do you think has changed to be able to get you to where you are?
A lot was changed. Definitely changing my mindset. And I had done after 2020, I really started getting into the whole like mindset, energy, vibration kind of stuff. And like, oh, our thoughts really matter, and really working on myself. Right. It wasn't like, oh, I didn't wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm going to believe that there is enough for everyone. And I'm, like having it wasn't like an immediate overnight shift. It was like, it took a while to kind of change my mindset, but it works.
It works.
Then of course the habits followed, right? So like changing my mindset also changing my habits. And then, right, like when we started working together, it was tweaking all of our systems. So we worked on everything, like from
Right.
hiring and training and, pricing, everything.
So habits, how did you have to change? Like, explain to me what you mean by habits. Like, what did you have to change?
Well, say for example, you're not disciplined because you're thinking in your mind, well, you're thinking, well, what's the point in me doing this? You have these negative thought patterns of,
Mm,
oh, well, why do I have to do this every day? Or why do I have to continue doing this? It's not getting me anywhere. It's because you're so short-sighted and you're not looking at the future. And then you're not doing those income producing activities like you teach. It's like, because you're so like, oh, well, this didn't help me the last couple weeks. Like how we were talking about like Facebook, like you taught me how to properly do it when before I was like, oh, I've tried that. It doesn't work. And you're like, no, 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 do it like this. It takes
yeah.
patience and dedication. You have to do it. Do it like this.
Patience is a virtue, and everyone thinks that, oh, I posted on Facebook a couple times and I didn't get anything. It doesn't work. But you have to do that result producing activity over and over and over again till you're blue in the face. So you just do it every day and you don't even think about it. It's like going to the gym, right? You just go 4 or 5 days a week. You don't even think about it. Oh, I got to go to the gym. And you just go do it. And over time, that activity turns into a result. But people have a hard time with waiting for results. Everyone wants everything now. I blame social media for that.
And
It's hard. Amazon.
I blame them too.
You should
Prime
ask my
delivery.
husband about Amazon, how many times a week Amazon comes. I don't go to the store anymore. It's just like, I'll order mascara, whatever, my makeup stuff. I just order from Amazon. I just wait the day or two for it to get to my house.
I love it. We're an Amazon family for sure.
Yeah, I know. So when you talk about mindset, you mentioned that you're a big energy person. So do you mean like you will things to come to you?
No.
What do you mean then?
I become the person that attract those things happen to, right? Like
Okay.
how do I explain it? Because now you do have to focus. What you focus on and give your attention to grows.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. But you cannot, when you force, you actually end up repelling. So when I put a quote out, I try to just get it off my mind. I might say a prayer like, okay, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're awesome. I believe in, like, I love myself and what we're doing. I love my team and my business, and it's worth it. We are worthy of all of this. So it's that energy of like loving yourself, believing you're worth it, believing you deserve it. And then so you're actually attracting. That's attractive. Like if you're
Yeah.
like trying to like force that, oh yeah, yeah, hire me, blah blah. That actually does the opposite. Like it force kind of make people like, oh no.
So almost like positive affirmations.
But you kind of have to be like in the past tense with it. Because I used to first, when I first started doing positive affirmations, I was like, I would say things like, this will work out for me. And then I had to switch to like everything, then saying an actual, like, no, everything works out for me. Like, I like actually like pretending like you already have it. You have
Like
to
you
like,
accepted. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
you
Yeah.
have to imagine, and this is very hard, especially women that things haven't been working out for them and they don't really know how that feels. So I would have to imagine, okay, what are some of the things in my past that have worked out for me and that gave me that good feeling of like, all you have to tap into something. So whatever it is, tap into that good feeling. And so you've got to like remember, what did that feel like, right?
Yeah.
So
Like you
it can be
have
hard. It's hard. It for some people, it is
It's
hard.
almost like you have to believe that you already have it.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Or vision it as even in the present tense almost.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what you do.
I do.
Yeah. And that's
It
been
works.
obviously successful for you, right?
It works. And so a big part of that is also making sure that I am in a right headspace, not
Okay.
to a lot of people think they have to grind and it stresses them out, and so their body is worn out, they're stressed out, the anxiety creeps in because their nervous system is just on overload.
Right.
So there's a lot of self-care that goes into this energy work. It's like you have to take care of yourself to be in that good place energetically.
That's very true. That's so true. So I know that, well, I know from personal experience, running a business is always associated with risk. What would you say was some of the scariest growth decisions you ended up making that actually paid off?
Hiring employees when I didn't have the houses to fill their schedule, and
That's
it
scary.
paid off. Yes.
How'd you
Uh,
handle it? Tell me.
um, I just like remember earlier you asked me about like when you're afraid and do it anyway.
Hmm.
You just gotta do it. You just gotta like it's like you gotta have faith.
Mm-hmm.
And after I did it once, I could do it easier again. And then I would remind myself, "Do you remember when you hired so and so?"
Yeah.
And her schedule filled up within a month. It only took a month. And so I'm honest with people. I'd never want, I always tell them, "Hey, you're coming in, you're going to ease in, the schedule will be slow for a couple weeks and we're going to build it." And so I never promise somebody a full schedule if I do this where I'm like, I know I don't have enough jobs. And
Right.
so yeah, it's a little bit of a leap of faith, but then I remind myself, "Hey, remember, yeah, remember so and so, it worked out." Every
So,
week I was
I mean, like, you're honest with them. So I think that's obviously, as long as they're okay with that. Like, do you tell them that that's the process before you actually hire them, like in the interview?
sometimes. Now okay, so yes, I always did before. Now I feel like my confidence level is a lot higher, so I don't really push that conversation too far
Okay. Because you know you can fill their schedule up in a couple
because
weeks.
I'm a little bit more confident in my, yeah.
Okay.
So
You and I share a similar personal win here. And I don't know if people know this about me, and I don't know if they know about you. But being a job creator is a very important thing. It's one thing that's like dear to my heart too. It was the coolest thing when I started creating jobs and creating paychecks for people, especially because we hire mostly women that are cleaning houses. So, and people don't talk a lot about that in this industry much. So what was it like for you when you started to create paychecks for people?
on one hand, it was a little scary and it was a little nerve-wracking to say that while it's a big responsibility,
Yeah,
but it was also a confidence builder for me saying, "Wow, look what I can do." And then so I'm proud of myself, like, "I can handle this. I can do it." And then there's that other side of, "Wow, like, this is really cool."
yeah,
Because I think a lot of us do come into this field of work because we have servant hearts, right? Like, especially with a lot of our clients, we like helping people.
we want to help people.
And so we also feel that way about our employees. We're like, we get I like get excited when one of my employees has a really awesome paycheck because I know she worked really hard for that. And I'm like, dang, look at that. Look how much she made this week. Oh,
I
that's
know.
cool.
It is a cool feeling when you see
Or
some of those
tips. When I
tips.
see some of the tips they make, and I'm like, oh, she made awesome tips this week. Cause yeah, I'm in the groups too on Facebook where other business owners, it's like all they want to do is gripe about their employees. And I'm over here like, if I didn't have my I call them sparkle bosses. If I had my sparkle bosses, what would I be without them?
Well, you wouldn't have the revenue, and I think that,
No. I'd
and
be
when
out there just
well, and that goes back to energy too. So if you talk about, and some of the cleaning business groups are, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff, there's all kinds of different people in there. But the people that constantly bitch and moan about what they don't have is what they're actually attracting.
Right, when they say, "Oh, I can't find any good employees, and they are so draining, and they do this, and my employees that," and I'm like, "Dang," like,
Nobody
I just
wants
wanna
to.
focus on the good, 'cause you're never gonna find perfect people. I'm not a perfect boss every single day, no, I'm
No,
not.
no.
And why do you expect perfection out of them? You can't. That's not realistic.
God, no. If you're looking for perfection, this isn't the business. There's
No.
so much detail in this business. It's like totally, totally crazy. You have to be a detailed person to definitely be a cleaner. More so than everybody thinks. Everyone thinks cleaning is well, people that haven't done it thinks house cleaning is easy. I remember hiring people and they would say, how hard could it be? It's house cleaning. Back then, I didn't catch it. If anyone says that to me now in an interview, I don't hire them. We're completely done because I know that they're not going to be able to handle it.
It's hard.
It's physically draining on your body. Did you ever experience any physical pain when you were cleaning?
I started when I was in my 20s, so I was young enough to not no. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, like, okay, so I ended up filling in a few weeks ago for, someone called out sick, and I filled in and I cleaned a house for about 4 hours.
I remember this.
I think yeah, I told you, I was like, "Oh my gosh, Cheryl, my arm is numb,"
You were
and
beat from that day.
it hurt. I was like, "My arm hurts."
Yeah, it's when your body's not used to it, it's an adjustment.
I just remember no, I didn't necessarily have any injuries or anything crazy happen, but I just remember the exhaustion, right? Like, that pure,
Yeah.
like, just being so tired at the end of the day. I'm just like, "I just need to lay down. I can't do anything." I couldn't clean my own house, couldn't do it's like,
Yeah.
forget about it.
And that's why you have to we have to treat our staff with great care because they're out cleaning all of our accounts for us, and that's that's a blessing for us,
It is.
right?
And
It
it's awesome.
is. It is totally awesome. So you have a ton of freedom now because you don't really clean anymore.
No,
I
I don't, and
that's
if I
always
do, it's because I choose to.
right.
Um, I so my son is doing this hybrid thing where he's like homeschooling, but also taking a culinary art class Monday through Friday, and so doing different things is his guitar lesson. So I can build my schedule around what my kids need, and I can
That's
be
all.
home to most days, pick up my daughter off the school bus, and I can go work out at the gym. So
That's awesome.
yes,
How good does
like
that feel?
it's great because it puts me in a better mental spot when I'm getting my exercise in.
Oh yeah,
So, but yeah,
I'm a fan of that. Huge fan of that. So how many employees you have now?
we have 9 now.
That's exciting.
Yes, yay. Now I always said the last couple years I've always said, and I even said this to someone recently, I don't wanna have more than 10 employees.
Right.
'Cause, like, oh, we can and I do think that I can hit my goals with having 10 or less. I
Yeah.
do think definitely possible, but who knows what the future will hold, right? Who knows?
Do you have any laws in because Massachusetts has different rules up here for like tax levels? Once you go over a certain amount of employees, do you enter into another tax bracket? Do you know?
So every time I do my payroll, what's it called? Statements with the state, quarterly statements, there is I've never made it past 10 employees in 1 quarter, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a little digging. I'm not really sure. I
That's
think there might be something. Yeah,
You
there
can
might
get
be.
you can get around it. You can get around it with filing like different LLCs and stuff like that. That's for a different conversation, different
Well,
day.
my children are now employees,
Yep.
so yep.
So so
They're not included in the 9. That would be 11, but we're not counting them right now.
right. They're just like that was a tax shelter, right? I think.
It is. So
Yeah.
you can give them work that they age appropriate work, and they don't pay tax on that money.
Right.
So
And it comes into the house.
it comes into the household, so they can contribute tax free.
Is that under 18 or how does that work?
Yes, even if they are over 18, they would be in a lower tax bracket. So
Right.
it's still it would still kind of be worth it if they wanted to work for the family business.
So maybe worth it. Yeah, that's cool. Do you give them stuff to do, like chores and stuff?
I do, and my son helps me clean a couple offices on the weekends and
That's
one on
cool.
Fridays. Yeah,
That is awesome.
teaching him
So
work ethic.
does he like it? Does he like work with mom?
I don't know. I've never asked him.
Are you
I'm
afraid?
assuming he doesn't hate it if he hasn't quit.
He gets money, right?
The
So he's
money's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
the money's good. Do you pay him a livable wage?
I mean, yes.
That's funny. So have you ever had to like do you put boundaries in place? You must to protect your time like with your family.
Yeah, I have an app on my phone that so I don't phone call the business line is on an app. It's not coming to my personal cell phone. So
Okay,
even though the app is on my phone, I have business hours set on there, so it goes straight to voicemail if I get a phone call after 4 PM. It goes straight to
that's
voicemail.
awesome. You have to have them. And I think, I mean, when I first started, I didn't have any boundaries. I'd be taking phone calls because clients will text you and call you at 9 a.m., like 11, Saturday, Sunday. And if you don't put those boundaries in place, like the business can eat you alive.
Um, Sometimes if it's a weekend and everybody's kinda doing their own thing, I still work, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
but it's my choice. Like, I'm doing it because I want to, not because I have to.
Yeah. If a client reaches out to us for an emergency or a cancellation over the weekend, I will address it.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the beginning, I can remember getting text messages at 12 at night. I'm like, what are you doing? And why would you be messaging a business at that time? Because I never set up those proper boundaries, which is crazy. We don't have her anymore, thank God. We will not say the name, but we don't have her for anymore. So let's talk about manifestation. So I'm a firm believer in that, and I know you are too. When did you realize that your thoughts were like literally shaping your results in your business?
So, it was back in 2019. My massage therapist was doing life coaching, and so I signed up for some sessions with her. And I'm like, "Hey, like, I wanna kind of help me out with, like, my stress and anxiety and things like that, but also help me out with my business." I said, "Because, like, things aren't really going like I thought and da 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 da," right? So, she introduced me to all of this stuff, and she's talking about how like attracts like, focus on whatever you focus on, it's gonna grow. Like how we were talking about, you've gotta know your numbers and all of that. And then we got into really, like, talking about what were my thought patterns about money. Like, did I think money was good, bad, evil, whatever, right? Like, what about people who have money? Like, what do you think about them? Because you're not going to want to make money if you think that people who have it are bad.
Bad people. Right.
Yeah. So I had to kind of like really think about like all these things, like what I was programmed with, right? Like it's all like kind of subconscious stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow, yeah, I have some things I need to reprogram.
Yeah.
And like, it's just a tool. Money's a tool. So it's okay to make a profit,
I
right?
actually admire people that have built empires. Like I say, good for them because I know how hard they worked to get there. I don't look at someone and say, oh, it must be nice. And usually the people that say those things just don't have what it takes to grow a business. It is hard. It is 10 times harder to grow a business than it is to have a job. Like you're working 80 hours a week just so you can work for yourself. You're working double the amount of time that you would if you were working for someone else.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, we would talk a lot about gratitude.
Mm,
And when you can find things to be grateful for, then God gives you more to be grateful for.
that's
It's a
100%.
really cool equation. It's like you're grateful with a little bit, guess what? You can be grateful with a lot. You can't even appreciate the little things in life, then do you think you're gonna attract more to be grateful? No, you're just gonna attract more to be grumpy about.
I'm grateful for waking up in the morning and having my coffee in peace.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's funny you said that, 'cause Lori, my coach back then, she was like, "If you can't think of anything big, it's okay. Think even if you sit down, you're drinking your coffee and you're like, 'I like this mug,' or like, 'I like the smell of the rain,' or like whatever." Like, it's such a good practice to, like, really just think of, like, several different things, right? Like, every day, and then I would journal, like, do some journaling and stuff like that.
Well, it makes you feel good. So I always say it feels much better to be positive than it does to be negative. I would rather feel happy all day than rather be grumpy all day.
Yeah, and then we don't also, can we find things throughout our day, because this cleaning business life, it's so hectic sometimes. It's like normal for us just to be putting out fires constantly, or like, what's the
Oh, yeah.
next thing that's going to happen today? So you have to figure out a way to like kind of not enjoy that, but like enjoy those little things throughout the day. Like you can't be like, "Oh, well, I'll be happy once nothing bad ever happens," and you know what I mean? Like, you have to learn to enjoy the ride and, like, enjoy the process somehow.
I think the more positive you are, I think when a negative situation comes your way, you find every way possible to get back to that positive space again because it doesn't feel good in the negative space. You can look at a negative situation and be like, oh, well, that's okay. I want to feel better. I'm going to go over here. That's how I hate negativity. Like when I encounter a person that's negative, I imagine an invisible bubble that's wrapped around my whole body. And so it doesn't come in contact with me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So
I have
I'm in
friends.
this bubble. Can't be touched.
I love that bubble. Yeah, I've done imagining I have a shield and just, like, nobody can penetrate my shield.
It's like that Wonder Woman shield. Remember, she had a shield. Like it was like this thing that came up in front of her, and it just got rid of the negative
Yeah.
or whatever. So you said before, like when we've been working together in our coaching sessions, the brain wants to keep you safe. So what does that mean? I think this is so important for our viewers to understand, especially when you're relating it to business. So if you're doing something in your business you haven't done before, reaching a new income level, buying a company car, like anything, like what do you mean when you say the brain wants to keep you safe?
So, I'm not an expert, okay, but from what I understand is that our brain doesn't know if we're being chased by a lion or not, right? So change can actually signal like something scary, like, oh no, it's like a bad thing, right? So our if you haven't done something yet, and that's not is something out of the ordinary, right? Your brain just always wants to protect you. And it's like,
Yeah.
stay in the ordinary, stay in, because it knows like, hey, everything we do every day, we've been safe so far. Nothing bad has happened. You're going to go off and do that. Oh, I don't know about that. Something bad could happen. So it's just like the safety mechanism, right? So anything different. And
Anything
so,
different. Yep.
yeah, anything different. And but as you and I both know, different is part of growing. You can't grow if you're not ready to do different things.
Yeah.
And so you have to be willing to be like, okay, my brain's telling me don't do this. And I've had, even this past year, I've had a few incidences where I was caught up in that moment of like not wanting to proceed forward and just kind of wanting to stay back and like just um not change, you know what I mean? Like just kind of slink back and be like, "No, I'll just stay over here where it's comfortable." But then I watched a podcast, I watched so many different like YouTube videos and whatnot. And I watched one where she was talking about the scary things make your nervous system go into like flight or fight mode, but there's also freeze or fawn responses. And so when you like freeze and go, okay, I'm not going to do this, whether it's like you're scared to make the investment, spend the money, or like scared to go do that networking event, that could have gotten you some, connections and, great relationships. You're just like, you freeze up or you go, okay, I'm just going to go over here and run away.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, so you have to push past that, and then you can level up that way by pushing past the, if as long as you know it's safe, right? You're not going into some dark alley. You're not like going to put yourself in danger. You know that. Just remind yourself, no, nothing.
And
Um,
then like that expression, like people, people hate change. It's just not so much that they hate change, their brain is telling them that it's unfamiliar territory.
yeah, it's uncomfortable,
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
but it gets better. So if anyone's listening and they're like, oh, that kind of sucks. It actually gets better. So the more you do, and then your brain is like, oh no, that I I didn't die. Okay. So you do it again and you're like, "Oh, that wasn't so bad." And then you can keep doing it, and then you're no longer, you're like, "Why was I even afraid of this?" Like when I joined the BNI, and then I was like so
Yeah.
afraid. Like I practiced my 30-second elevator speech like 100 times. I was and this was a year ago. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
so I'm
Something different.
it was because it was just something different, right? And then I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't like speaking in front of people, these big crowds. I had my 10-minute presentation in front of like 60 people. And you know what? I was shaking a little bit.
Because it was
I was
something different.
I made sure it was something different. But I could have been like come up with an excuse not to do it,
Yeah.
right? But then afterwards, I was like, that wasn't so bad. It was fine.
I always, like, even as a kid, like I always, but I'm kind of like weird with stuff. I've always loved change because to me, change brought like a new beginning. It was something like new I was learning, or it was something different. And I have always liked fear of the unknown because it felt like cool. I'm like, oh, this is something different I'm going to learn. Like I love to learn and read and stuff. So to me, I don't know if I've ever been afraid. I just was like, well, here's a new situation. Let's just have at it and see what happens. But no, a lot of people are afraid of change because their brain is telling them it's unfamiliar. Like that's what it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
The unknown. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is one thing you've learned about yourself through this journey of growing a cleaning business?
Ooh, okay. So I wrote this down. I'm gonna read from it. When I wrote, let's see. Okay. I can relate to this. What Christopher Robin said to Winnie the Pooh. This is what I would say to my younger self. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I can do great things. Like I can do hard things. Yeah, I can do hard things.
You can do
I,
hard things.
that's what I
You,
learned about myself over,
you breastfed and clean at the same time. You can do hard.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I have not done that. So would you give any advice to cleaning business owners who are scared to grow, but like deep down inside they know that they're meant for more?
Um, yeah. Hire Cheryl as your coach.
Oh, that's nice.
No, I mean, I think that it gets lonely being an entrepreneur, and there are lots of free things. Like if you're out there and you don't have the money to hire an awesome coach like Cheryl, then join the Sisters Who Scale free group, listen to the podcast, like join up some Facebook groups, and just like learn
Research.
from, yeah, look.
Things out
Oh,
there.
there's so much out there, so many support you can get from strangers. It's so crazy.
Yeah, there's so much support. I think people just get, especially women, they're their worst enemy. They get wrapped up in this whole, what if it doesn't work? What they're really saying is, I don't have the belief in myself to pull it off. That's what it is. I've coached hundreds of businesses now, mostly women, women founders, and women don't believe in themselves. That's what it is that stops them. They stop themselves from making it.
So would you say that it would benefit someone to not put a pause on scaling their company, but to just take some time to work on themselves? like personal growth, right?
I think
like
so.
yeah, like doing those, whatever it is, maybe they can, I don't know, there's so many different things that they could do to work on that, like you said, that self-confidence, love, worthiness, love yourself, believe in yourself.
Sometimes they have to just go through it. Sometimes they need to be pushed, is what I've noticed. Is that I push people through fears, through doors they don't want to go through all the time. And then once they get through that door, they're like, oh my God, that wasn't so bad. So one of the biggest doors is hiring your first people. People are scared shitless to hire people. And they're like, oh my God, I don't like this process. No one's calling me back. Nobody showed up. I don't want to do it. Like they fight it. And then once they hire their first couple of people and they go out and they see that they're working for them and cleaning their jobs for them, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, that wasn't so bad. I don't know why I was so afraid of that.
Yeah, and it builds the confidence, right? Like I said, now I'm not afraid to hire people. Yeah, so my advice for all you listening out there, do it anyway.
Be scared as shit and do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Just
do it anyways.
Do it anyways.
So your next chapter, it's 500K, right? Speaking of pushing into a different level, what excites you about that?
About like going
again.
Yeah, because it's something different and new and exciting, like you said, like with that when you were younger, like, oh, let's do this. That is something that I never really aspired to before. Before it was like, let's just pay my bills, whatever. I'm like, now I'm like, I don't know what that would be like. Maybe, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it.
You were a couple years ago, you were like, no, I'm comfortable at this level. I'm pretty
I was like, no, I think I'll stop. I remember we had this conversation. I was like, yeah, once I get to 30, I'm just gonna stop and maintain. I'll just maintain that because, it'll be easier and comfortable and safe.
I think 2 years at Rise changed your mind. She's got to Rise the impulse.
Yes, that was awesome. So
awesome.
For sure. And the last thing to answer your question, the more that I level up, the more people I can help. We are partnered with Cleaning for a reason. For those who've never heard of it, please go check it out. Okay, look it up. And we give free cleanings to cancer patients, and it's the best thing ever. So the more profits I can make, the more I can afford to just send my employees out, I pay them, and they go give free cleanings. And so
and you make a difference in someone's life like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool. All right, I got some rapid fire questions here. Just like quick answers, all right? What do you love most about being your own boss?
Making all the decisions.
One thing you no longer tolerate as a business owner?
Ooh, high maintenance, picky, never satisfied clients.
That covers them all. Favorite thing about running a cleaning business?
Ooh, the satisfaction of the before and after photos.
Least favorite thing about running a cleaning business?
The putting out the fires and that's just the random, like the randomness.
Stupidness?
Yeah.
All right, well, give me one mindset habit you practice every single day.
So even if it's just like 1 minute or 5 minutes, just being in the moment, being in the present, not looking at a phone, not looking at whatever, just like sometimes I close my eyes when I do this. Just breathe and just not think about the future, not think about the past. Just, what's happening right now, and look around and just like be in the moment.
Live in the now, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, your story is proof that when you lead with faith, energy, and discipline, everything shifts. You can't grow if you stay safe. You can't receive if you don't give. So for every cleaner listening who's in that chaos right now, this could be your sign that freedom is totally possible. You just have to take the leap, right? So thank you for being on. If you like this episode and would like to get notified of more, click on the subscribe button on my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook on my personal page. The Maids Who Made It podcast is for the underdog, the cleaning business owner who refuses to give up, who battles for the win, and who never stops believing in themselves and their abilities to build their empires one house at a time. I am so glad you came on tonight, Gloria. Thank
Me
you
too.
so
That
much.
was fun.
Yeah, and thanks for hooking that microphone up. That just added like it matches everything too.
Yeah, I love it. My husband picked it out. He's so cute. He buys me things that I didn't even know I needed.
I love it. Now you can go out and do all kinds of podcasts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you're watching this on replay and you have questions, you can always message me or you can find Gloria. So how about this? So the areas that you cover, if anyone's watching this looking for an amazing cleaning service, give me the areas that you cover in North Carolina.
Oh gosh, so many. All right. So Lake Norman, North Carolina, from Statesville down to North Charlotte and all around the lake.
All right. That's a lot of area.
Yep, sure is.
You're growing.
We're
You're
taking
growing.
over.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on. And we'll see you all next month on the Maids Who Made It podcast.